I used to be a destroyer. The kind of person whose own hands brought pain and brokenness. Every relationship, every trust one had, I crushed without mercy. And then, amid the ashes of my life, I realized I had lost everything. Do you know what it feels like? To stand in the depths of loneliness, left only with your own mistakes? That moment was the one that made me know I couldn't keep living like that anymore. Day by day, I carried the weight of the mistakes I made myself. I was the one who broke the bridges that once seemed unbreakable. With family, friends, and loved ones. Harsh words, careless actions, and selfishness turned me into a stranger in my own life. Every time I looked in the mirror, all I saw was a failure. Lost in the wreckage I created. I lost the trust of the people who once mattered most. And I lost myself in the spiral of loneliness and regret. Everything seemed to collapse beyond repair. I was no longer the person anyone once called with love. I became the enemy. The destroyer not just of others' lives, but of my own. During those days, I kept asking myself, is there any way to fix this? Can I find myself again? In this vast sea of mistakes? That question haunted me. Relentlessly, painfully, deep in my mind. But no matter how much it hurt, I knew I couldn't live forever in the shadows of destruction. The loss was too great. I had to look back. I had to start the journey of change. I stood on the edge between a ruined past and an uncertain future. And from there, the true journey of repair finally began. I stood on the edge between a destroyed past and an unknown future. And from that moment, the true journey of healing finally began. The decision to change didn't come easy. Every day was a challenge. As I faced the person I once was, careless, hurting others without remorse. There were times I wanted to give up, to fall back into old habits just to escape the pain and loneliness. But deep inside, a quiet voice kept reminding me I had to be different. I had to start over. I began by confronting my mistakes, the wounds I caused, not to blame myself more, but to understand the roots of the destruction inside me. I learned to listen, not just to words, but to the feelings of those I hurt. It wasn't easy. Pride and fear constantly pulled me in opposite directions. But I knew if I didn't face it, I would be stuck forever in a cycle of destruction. Step by step, I tried to mend the broken relationships. A sincere apology, a small but persistent act, slowly helped to heal the cracks. I learned patience and respect for others' process. Because forgiveness doesn't always come right away. Sometimes, I was rejected, ignored, even hurt again. But I didn't give up. Because I understood that healing wasn't just about fixing others' wounds. It was about healing myself too. This journey has been long and hard, but also an opportunity to discover myself in ways I never had before. I gradually realized real change begins from within. From understanding, self-forgiveness, and an unyielding will to rise. Every day, I learned to love myself more, so I could love others genuinely and sustainably. The long and difficult journey of healing gradually awakened me, helping me see life in a completely different way. I realized that change isn't just about fixing the surface wounds. More importantly, it's about awakening from within the soul. I began to understand that the destruction I caused didn't only hurt others, but also shattered my own heart. Regret and guilt only dragged me deeper into despair. If I didn't have forgiveness and acceptance, I learned that to truly heal, I had to forgive myself first. Not as a way to let go or forget the mistakes, but to accept the past and use it as a foundation to move forward. This awakening helped me see clearly the value of patience and love. I no longer expected perfection or immediate forgiveness from others. Instead, I took time to rebuild trust, little by little, with sincerity and persistence. I learned to put myself in others' shoes, to feel the pain they endured, and from that, to appreciate the relationships I could rebuild. Most importantly, I realized that the journey of change has no clear endpoint. It's an ongoing process, a long path I must walk step by step, constantly learning and growing. Awakening isn't just a moment of clarity, but a deep transformation in how I think, feel, and face life. With this new awareness, I feel stronger, calmer. I am no longer bound by the past, but instead use it as motivation to live better, love deeper, and live more meaningfully. That awakening is the light that guides my journey home and forward. With a deep awakening in my soul, I began the journey of returning to those I once hurt, to relationships that seemed beyond repair. This wasn't a gentle homecoming, but a challenging path that demanded patience, humility, and courage to face the past. I reached out to loved ones not just to apologize and move on, but to listen, to understand the wounds I had caused. Sometimes, my apologies were rejected, ignored, even met with anger and suspicion. But instead of giving up, I knew this was part of the healing process. I learned to respect others' feelings, accepting that forgiveness can't be forced. It must come from the heart. Each meeting, each honest conversation, slowly drew me closer to those I loved. No longer a destroyer, I started becoming a builder, a source of warmth and hope. I didn't just mend relationships, I healed myself from within. The feeling of isolation gradually gave way to connection and understanding. Returning doesn't mean forgetting the past. It means learning to live with it, using painful lessons to become stronger. I realized every wound takes time to heal, and I couldn't rush this journey. Patience, sincerity, and compassion are the keys that open the hearts of those once hurt. Through this journey back, I found myself again, found the peace I had lost. That became the crucial stepping stone to keep living, to keep repairing, and to become a better version of myself. After returning and beginning to mend broken relationships, I realized life doesn't stop there. Moving forward is a new journey, a journey of persistence, of days spent continuing to repair and improve myself, little by little. I learned to live with gratitude, to cherish every moment and the people around me. Each day was no longer just a string of regrets, but an opportunity to spread love and understanding. I'm not perfect, and I don't need to be. What matters is that I keep trying, keep changing to become a better person. Through my stumbles and experiences, I began sharing my story with others who are also lost or struggling with their past mistakes. I want to send a message. No matter how much you've destroyed or hurt, you can still fix things and start over. If you're brave and patient enough, life goes on with countless challenges. But now I have the strength inside to face them. I'm no longer afraid of loss or loneliness like before. I understand that every day lived is a gift, and the way I choose to live it will shape who I become in the future. Moving forward doesn't mean forgetting the past. It means using the past as a springboard to the future. I've learned to love myself, so I can love others more fully. And most importantly, I know the journey of healing will always be with me, an inseparable part of my life. Now, I'm not just someone who once destroyed. I'm someone awakened, living on with all the strength and hope in my heart. No one's life is perfect, and all of us may have been the ones who caused pain. to others, or to ourselves. But what truly matters is not the mistakes we've made, but how we rise, repair, and move forward. I used to be a destroyer, but I chose to awaken, to love, and to learn how to live a more meaningful life. If you're feeling lost, weighed down by the burden of mistakes, believe this: it's never too late to change. The journey of healing isn't easy, but it always opens the door to hope and restoration. Start by forgiving yourself, and from there, open your heart to the world around you. Life is a journey of constant growth, and it's through our stumbles that we discover our true strength. Don't let the past define your future. Have the courage to stand up, heal your wounds, and keep living, because you deserve a fuller, richer life.